Welcome to Data Communication. Today we are going to discuss the multiplexing technique, which is a digital multiplexing techniques used for multiplexing of data while transmitting over the network, which is known as time division multiplexing. So this time division multiplexing is basically a digital technique. In the previous frequency division multiplexing technique, we have seen that all signals operate at the same time with different frequency. But in case of time division multiplexing, all signals operate at the same frequency but with different time. So the time division multiplexing technique uses the concept of time, in which the total time available in the channel is distributed among different users who wants to send the data over the network. Therefore, each user is allocated with different time interval known as time slot at which the data is to be transmitted by the sender. A user takes control of the channel for a fixed amount of time. In this technique, data is not transmitted simultaneously, but the data is transmitted one by one. In TDM, the signal is transmitted in the form of frames. The frames contain a cycle of time slots in which each frame contains one or more slots dedicated to each other. There are two different techniques available in time division multiplexing. One is known as synchronous TDM and the second one is known as asynchronous TDM. We'll see both the techniques one by one. So the first technique is known as synchronous time division multiplexing, in which the time slot is pre-assigned to every device. In this technique, each device is given some time slot irrespective of the fact that the device contains the data or not. If the device does not have any data, then the time slot will be empty. That time slot will not be allocated to any other device. In this technique, signals are sent in the form of frames. Time slots are organized in the form of frames. If a device does not have data for a particular time slot, then the empty time slot will be transmitted over the network. The most popular synchronous TDM are T1 multiplexing, ISDN multiplexing, and SONET multiplexing. In the case of synchronous TDM, if there are n number of devices, then there will be n slots available for transmitting the data. In the diagram here we can see that in using this technique, the multiplexer accepts the input, then the frames are created, and in that frames multiple devices are given various time slots. So here for example, 3 devices are going to send the data. First device is having 3 frames AAA, second is having 2 BB, and third is having C. So the multiplexer will take the input from all the devices and it will create the frames. There are 3 devices, so 3 frames will be created. The first frame contains all the data from all the 3 devices A, B and C. In the second frame, A and B are still having the data, but C has completed its transmission. So the third part of the frame is empty. That is the third time slot which was allotted to third device. In the third frame, what happens is that only the first device is having data, second and third device is not having any data, so the time slot allotted to these two devices is empty. So this is the overall working of synchronous time division multiplexing, in which fixed time slots are allotted to the devices which are going to send the data. If the devices are not having any data to send, then the time slots are empty. So this technique is having some kind of disadvantages. One is known as the capacity of the channel is not fully utilized, as the empty slots are also transmitted, which is having no data. Then the speed of transmission medium should be greater than the total speed of the input lines. So to provide an alternative for this technique, the TDM technique is having its second type, which is known as asynchronous time division multiplexing. So let's see how it works. This technique is also known as statistical time division multiplexing. Now in this technique, the time slots are not fixed as in the case of synchronous TDM. The time slots are allocated to only those devices which have the data to send. Therefore, we can say that asynchronous time division multiplexing transmits only the data from active workstations. This technique dynamically allocates the time slots to the devices. In asynchronous TDM, total speed of the input lines can be greater than the capacity of the channel. The asynchronous time division multiplexer accepts the incoming data streams and creates a frame that contains only data with no empty slots. In asynchronous TDM, each slot contains an address part that identifies the source of the data. The difference between asynchronous and synchronous time division multiplexing is that many slots in synchronous TDM are unutilized, but in asynchronous TDM, slots are fully utilized. This leads to the smaller transmission time and efficient utilization of the capacity of the channel. In synchronous TDM, if there are n sending devices, then there will be n time slots. In asynchronous TDM, if there are n sending devices, then there are m time slots where m is less than n. The number of slots in a frame depends on the statistical analysis of the number of input lines. Here in this diagram, we can see that the devices which have some data for transmission are given the time slots, and that therefore here you can see the 4 devices are connected with the multiplexer, in which only A and C is having data, B and D are idle. So in the transmission line, you can see only A and C are allocated some time slot. B and D are not having any data, so B and D are not allocated any time slot. So in this way, asynchronous TDM is working and have the benefits of limited the benefits over synchronous TDM. So to sum up, in this video we have seen the two techniques of time division multiplexing, which is known as synchronous and asynchronous TDM, in which the synchronous TDM is having fixed time slots allocated to each and every device for transmission of data, and the asynchronous TDM allots the time slot as per the need to the devices. So in the next tutorial, we are going to see the switching techniques which can be used for switching of data over the network. Up till then, just read the tutorial and be ready for the next part. Thank you.